I was exhausted from a long day at work. The kind of day where your body feels heavier than your mind, and your mind feels heavier than your heart. I walked into the house silently, tossing my keys onto the counter, expecting the comforting hum of domestic normalcy. My wife's phone rang from the living room. Normally, I wouldn't have even touched it. Her calls were hers, her business. But something tugged at me, a strange curiosity, or maybe an instinct I didn't understand. I picked it up. A man's voice whispered through the speaker, low and intimate. "You left your underwear here again." I froze, the words echoing in my ears like a cruel joke I wasn't meant to understand. My heart thumped violently, a mix of fear, confusion, and disbelief. I stayed silent, hoping I had misheard. But then came the giggle, the unmistakable sound of intimacy, and the words that shredded my chest. "I love you so much." I dropped the phone slowly, feeling it thud against the hardwood floor. My legs felt like they might give out, and my hands trembled. I wanted to run, scream, cry, but all I could do was stand there, watching the message sink into me like a poison. It didn't make sense. Not her. We had plans, routines, shared glances over morning coffee, whispers of dreams for future. But that voice, that laugh, was proof that our life together had been infiltrated by lies I hadn't even imagined. I tried to piece it together. When did it start? How long had this been happening? Every time I thought about her warm smile or the way she used to brush her hair behind her ear, I felt that same voice invade my thoughts. I had been living with someone who was living a secret life right under my roof. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the house sounded suspicious. Every vibration of my phone sent a jolt of panic through me. I watched her move around the kitchen, humming softly, unaware, or pretending to be, that the walls had ears, that I had just discovered a truth she had hidden so well. The next day, I confronted her. My voice shook, but my eyes were sharp. "Who was that on the phone last night?" She laughed lightly, brushing it off as if it were nothing. "Oh, that? Just a friend." A friend. The casualness, the ease, the audacity, it burned me from the inside out. I remembered the whispered words, the giggle, the declaration of love that wasn't mine. I wanted to scream, to rip the walls down, to expose her like she had exposed me to this humiliation. But I stayed calm as someone can when their world is quietly crumbling. I started noticing the small things after that. The subtle shifts in her schedule, the quick exits from rooms, the faint scent of someone else in sheets. Every laugh on the phone, every work trip, every moment alone suddenly held a hidden meaning. I realized I had been living with a stranger masquerading as the person I loved. It wasn't just the infidelity. It was a betrayal of trust, the quiet erosion of intimacy that I hadn't even known existed. I questioned everything. Our conversations, our inside jokes, the way she used to touch my hand with what I thought was love. Every memory now felt tainted by suspicion, by the shadow of another presence in our life. I confronted her again, harder this time. My voice no longer trembled. It was edged with anger, sorrow, and the desperate need for truth. "Tell me everything. Who is he? How long? How could you do this to us?" She hesitated. The look in her eyes, the slightest flicker of guilt, was confirmation enough. The truth spilled out in whispers, the confessions of meetings, messages, nights I wasn't aware of. The details stung, burned, and left me hollow. The love I thought we shared had been diluted, stretched thin, replaced by someone else's touch, laughter, and whispers. I left that night. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, at least not in front of her. I walked through the dark streets, the cool air hitting my face, trying to breathe, trying to make sense of life that suddenly seemed unreal. Every step felt like walking away from a lifetime of memories, every heartbeat a reminder of trust lost. The weeks that followed were empty, filled with quiet introspection and shattered routines. I had to rebuild my understanding of love, of boundaries, of the fact that even the people closest to you can harbor secrets that change everything. I mourned not just a relationship, but the illusion of intimacy, the false comfort of shared mornings and whispered goodnights. Eventually, I realized something crucial. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it teaches. It teaches you to recognize warning signs, to value honesty over convenience, to cherish those who are genuinely present in your life. The man's voice, the whispered declarations, became a lesson etched into memory. Trust is fragile and once broken. It reshapes the way you move through the world. I never heard from her again, at least not in a way that mattered. The house felt emptier without her, yet strangely lighter. I had been freed from the invisible chains of deceit, and though the pain lingered, I was no longer trapped by someone else's lies. Sometimes, late at night, I replay the sound of that whisper in my mind. Not with anger, not with longing, but as a reminder. A reminder that life can change in an instant, that the people we think we know can surprise us in unimaginable ways, and that moving forward, we carry both the scars and the strength from the betrayals we survive.